What is up, my sweet family, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dina Brenshi, and I'm a dating coach. And this week, we're going to dive into people pleasing, why we do it, what the reason is, and how to get out of it. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe, follow, leave a comment, be a part of the sweet family. I can't wait to share this with you. Welcome to the Sweet Life Podcast. Are you ready to start living your life with more passion, purpose, and pleasure? And stay tuned to learn more from your behavioralist expert, dating coach, and relationship guru, Sweet Deans. Hey, sweet family. How are you all today? I am feeling great, excited about this cold weather that's moving in. And you know what that means. The holidays are right around the corner. And for those of you that are single, this is a time of year that makes you cringe. Your grandma keeps asking your sister why you're still single, and then she realizes that she's actually been talking to you this whole time and just unloading all of the family's secret thoughts about you. I have a sweet client of mine who actually had this happen to her last Thanksgiving. So needless to say, she's already started doing some sessions with me on surviving the holidays. And luckily for all of you, next week, I'm going to do a special podcast all about conquering the holidays and what to do when your mom starts pushing all your buttons or your sister tells you that you're chopping the Brussels sprouts wrong. Kind of like a holiday thought survival guide. That way, you can play it on your way to see your beloved family. Today, however, I'm going to share a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, as it's been something that I've struggled with my entire life. You know, after last week's episode on vulnerability, I thought that we would continue with that theme. I want to keep this open dialogue about the things that we all struggle with, like fear and shame and guilt, because as soon as you expose this stuff, it loses all of its power. The truly remarkable thing about shame is that the longer it sits in the shadows, the more it gains momentum. And the moment it's brought to the surface, it's powerless. I'm getting better and better at recognizing when it's emerging within me, but I'm nowhere close to perfect, nor will I ever be. You know, people ask me all the time if I've had to manage mine my whole life, or I must have just had really good parents. And that's why I am the way that I am. And it's just not true. I mean, I love my parents, but they make mistakes just like the rest of us. And I was honestly a bit of a wild child when I was younger. I had a lot of racing, manic, and out of control thoughts. But I've spent the last 3 years dedicated to self-mastery and managing my mind. So as I pass on everything I've learned to you, know that I didn't start this way. I had to work really hard every day to get to where I am now. And I'm continually learning and growing and practicing thought work so that I can continue to become better and better versions of myself. This quest for self-mastery is a never-ending one. And it's a constant reminder that the journey is what matters most. So something that I am currently struggling with on my journey is the idea of people-pleasing. So today, I'm going to define people-pleasing and talk about why we do it, and then how to shift your mindset and start to create boundaries that honor you, and also help you to become a more compassionate and engaged human. This is a fun one. Okay, so to start with, people-pleasing, or as I've heard other coaches refer to it as people-deceiving, is all about appeasing others at any cost. Making sure that you're trying to interpret and assume the desires of others, oftentimes before they are even expressed, and then carry out whatever it is that you believe they want. This is usually done to try to make the other person happy or feel good, but in reality, the gesture is done in a way to make sure that you are thought of in a fond or kind way. And I recognize these impulses in myself, and I wanted to make sure everyone around me was happy. Like, I self-appointed myself to be the happiness monitor. It was my job to make sure that everyone around me was feeling positive at all cost. And I realized that I did this for a few reasons. So, number one, I was uncomfortable with any emotion that wasn't happy. Number two, I wanted people to like me and feel good around me. Of course. And number 3, I thought that having my own boundaries and desires would make me selfish. So let's expand on these. And if any of these resonate with you, just know that you're not alone. So the first reason is actually really common. There is a ton of different specific reasons why people are uncomfortable with undesirable emotions. But the underlying theme of it is this. There is this component of shame associated with crying or hurt or pain, and we don't like to feel it or see it in people we love. And so instead of being able to be present with what the other person is feeling, we're always racing to move them along to recovery and resolution stage. We become embarrassed or upset by watching someone else have undesirable feelings or emotions. This actually limits our ability to be present and compassionate with them. So, how do we show others compassion and support while still allowing them to feel how they do? Well, it starts with awareness and the desire to love people exactly where they're at. Allow people to have the emotions that they have. And when you start to feel that friction or tension inside you that wishes the other person would behave differently, check in with that. Why does it make you so uncomfortable to see someone cry or feel upset? While you're exploring that in yourself, recognize that it's okay for the other person to feel whatever they feel. And once you can be there for someone and allow them to experience what they need to without judgment, shame, or discomfort, they can process through their emotions so much quicker. So hurdle number 1 is to get over your own discomfort with undesirable emotions. And in order to get better at this, start to become aware of your own emotions. Check in with yourself. Listen to the episode on self-care if you're struggling with this step. And once you can be comfortable with your own emotions, you naturally begin to be more comfortable with other people showing emotion. And so if someone is mad at you for not coming to their party, you can recognize that it's their thoughts that are causing anger and that they have every right to feel the way that they do, but that you don't have to take it on or let it mean anything about you. This process of allowing other people to feel however they feel and not taking it personally is a massive barrier to overcome. But on the other side of that is true service to others. So instead of doing things for someone else out of fear of their emotion, just begin to do things because you want to. It's a whole new experience. Trust me. As for the second part, we oftentimes just want to be liked by others, so we do whatever it takes to make sure that they feel good, so that we can feel better about ourselves. And if other people feel happy around us, that must mean that we are good people, deserving of love and affection. We are questing for belonging so much that we are willing to sacrifice everything just to be liked. You know that very insecure middle schooler that comes out inside all of us and just wants the cool kids to let you sit down and have lunch with them? That's what people-pleasing feels like. It's just like an angsty teenager. This is such a fear-based reaction, right? This whole people-pleasing thing. So scared that we could upset someone and that we would no longer be loved by them. And as you can see with both of these reasons, the core thought is always about ourselves. We're afraid to experience any kind of negative emotion or have anyone be upset with us, that we will do whatever it takes to appease them. And this is actually more selfish than setting boundaries and being aware of your own desires. And the reason that other coaches call it people deceiving is that you're altering or limiting yourself in order to get the approval from someone else. It's really the opposite of authenticity, because instead of speaking your truth, you're putting on a mask that you've labeled people pleaser, and then allowing everyone to only see that. Then at some point, you're going to run out of energy, and when that happens, you'll realize that people only love you as long as you're doing what they want. Really, this episode is for me. This is something that I am putting more and more conscious awareness on. I want to make sure that I don't avoid quote unquote bad feelings because they make me uncomfortable, and that I do things because I want to and not because I need to or because I have to. I try to be really present with my intentions. So on to reason number 3. I thought that having boundaries and expressing my desires would make me selfish. And as it turns out, the fears that we have about being selfish are keeping us selfish. Like I've said before, self-hating is infinitely more selfish than self-loving. And if you're approaching a situation out of fear, you're thinking about yourself. What will this other person think of me? Or what will they feel about me if I don't do what I think they want me to? It's all about you. So approaching a situation from a space of self-love, like, well, I don't answer the phone after 7 p.m. because that's my boundary. And if someone gets mad at me about that, those are their thoughts. And I don't need to take that on. I don't need to feel any of their anger or frustration towards me because I feel super okay with this boundary and I feel very peaceful about it. So I think that the number one thing to ask yourself is, why am I doing this? And if you're earnestly asking this and checking in with yourself, I bet you actually know the reason. Is it to avoid unpleasant feelings or emotions, or to make someone else happy? Like, I know my best friend will be mad if I don't go to her party tonight, but I got a flat tire on my way to the gym and one of my foster kittens died today, and I just need some time to sit in the shower and cry. But if I don't go, she's going to be upset and then I'll have to deal with that on top of everything else. How familiar does that sound? Hearing it out loud, you can see my reason for going is to avoid unpleasant feelings instead of just honoring my needs. And honestly, I know that my best friend will understand that it's important to me to have some alone time tonight. But if I didn't check in with myself and just see how I truly felt, I might be tempted to just switch into people-pleasing mode and just go. Okay, so let's say you ask yourself this question again. Why am I doing this? And it's something that you're not excited about doing, but maybe it aligns with the value that you have. An example of this might be Thanksgiving at your very racist grandfather's house. Like, I might not be super excited about doing this, but family's a really big value of mine. So I'm going to go because it aligns with one of my values. So break down the situations in your life and see what the reason is behind your actions. Is it honoring your values and adding to your life? Or is it breaking you down and leaving you feeling exhausted and depleted? If you struggle with people pleasing, then this episode is going to rock your world and support you in letting go of the fear of other people not liking you. That's basically what it all boils down to. It's rejection in a slightly different form. It's so crazy how much I see rejection show up. Like, man, that little guy is everywhere. He's present at every bar, at every business meeting, at your holiday parties. Rejection is a shapeshifter who takes on many different forms and knows all of your weakest points. It's incredible to see this little guy at work. I can't wait till the day where I can see him coming and tell him that he has no power over me. It's getting close, and I'm so excited about it. Thank you so much, Sweet Family, for all of your continued support. And if there's a topic that you would like to hear, be sure to reach out at sweetdeans.com or on Instagram at sweetdeans. If you're loving the Sweet Life podcast and you want to start rewiring your brain right away, take this free 4-day Rewire Your Brain challenge at sweetdeans.com/rewire and click download. I can't wait to talk to you next week, Sweet Family. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode, and if you liked it, please share it, subscribe, ring that little bell so you get notifications, leave a comment. I always welcome all of your comments and feedback. I love everything about you. Have a beautiful week, family.